All right, it is 6 o'clock, and this is the City of Merrill City Plan Commission meeting. It is Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025, and we are in the City Hall Council chambers. Next item on the agenda is consider placing the minutes from the February 4th meeting on file.
I will make that motion.
And I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to place the minutes of the meeting of February 4th on file. Any comment? I have one. Where it says present, it says non-voting, Mayor Steve Haas. I am up. Okay. So that, I made a motion to change that me from being non-voting to voting in the meeting. It states that I'm not, so. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the public hearing notice, but before we do that, I just want to read the statement. The City Planning Commission's sole purpose this evening is to review if the proposed zoning would be consistent with the existing proposed or surrounding uses. This commission will not base a decision on politics or emotions or based on ownership or business models. With that being said, we will now continue with the meeting.
Mayor, I'll read the notice of public hearing.
Thank you.
It states all persons interested will be given an opportunity to be heard at a public hearing to be held by and before the City Plan Commission of the City of Merrill, Wisconsin, commencing at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025, in the City Hall Council Chambers, 1004 East First Street, Merrill, Wisconsin, on the following proposed matter to wit. Lincoln County, 801 North Sale Street, requesting rezoning from public to thoroughfare commercial, addresses of 607 North Sale Street and 2100 East 6th Street, located in the City of Merrill, Lincoln, Wisconsin. These are more thoroughly described in PIN number 251-3106-182-0229. Anyone having any questions regarding the hearing should contact Zoning Administrator Darren Poggle at 536-4880. The notice is dated May 14th of this year and signed by Lori Anderson-Baum, the City Clerk.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to open the hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the hearing.
And I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to open the hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Darren, did you want to?
Sure. The property in question is currently zoned public because it is owned by a government entity. If in fact it was owned by a private entity, that's what the change to thoroughfare commercial would be about. If in fact the sale is completed, then that zoning, if approved tonight and by the council, would go to thoroughfare commercial. If in fact it was retained by the county, it would refer back to public for the zoning.
Okay. We'll now open the public hearing to allow people to speak for or against, and please limit your comments to the rezoning. Anybody who would like to come up and speak for or against, please step to the podium, state your name and address.
My name is Robert Weaver. I live at 1200 North Center Avenue, Merrill, Wisconsin. I've had a lot of experience with Pinecrest in the county. I served on the county board for over 20 years. I was a finance chairman for over 10, served as a Pinecrest trustee for 10, North Central Healthcare, a long period. So Pinecrest itself is an incredible asset to the community, and that needs to be taken into consideration. Specifically, I would like to ask the Plan Commission to identify if the new owners would be paying property tax. I'm not sure if that organization would be structured to, as a private nonprofit or whatever it is, because it would be important to the city if that property paid property tax and was in the privately held. The same for the Human Services building. It's a very large building. It's occupied third floor primarily by North Central Healthcare. The main second floor where you walk in, that's social services and I think the ADRC. And then the lower level is presently, I believe, the county nursing service. All of those programs, if they were to become private, and would probably need to pay rent. So is that going to be compatible with the city's vision of that property as a private entity? What I would assume is a private person or organization would need to charge for that space. And if so, would the current tenants be willing to rent? Because right now it's essentially in-kind contribution, or it's built into some of the reimbursement formulas where, you know, tenancy is included in whatever kind of program, state and federal. So it's fairly complex funding, but I think it would be important for the city to know if what usage the future would entail. Would the new owner just say, well, I don't think we need this type of occupancy, or the occupancy would be, you know, prohibitively expensive, and now we're going to have another derelict building in the communities, particularly, you know, in that part of town where it's really high end. You know, we have the school there, the new service center, the human service building has been extensively renovated. When I was still serving on the county board, we spent over $1 million just on the parking lot, you know, in upgrading the underground utilities. So the community has a huge investment in that space. Then when you start looking to the east, where there's a community garden there, and in the winter I believe that's designated for absorption from floods. So that can't be really sold or developed unless that was, you know, changed or, anyway, that was my understanding as we encountered, you know, people thinking about developing that because it was already designated, you know, for that purpose. So, and then of course the big issue is, you know, I think Pinecrest is a terrific asset for the community, and you know, I guess that's not really something the Plan Commission really has to consider. But from my point of view, we need to really answer the usage for the interest of Merrill and how it's will be used in the future and what the owner's intent is. So I know you mentioned that the owner wasn't important in your opening remarks, Steve, but I think it does make a difference what the owner intends to do. If it's going to be totally private, and then the community gets, you know, I mean, what do we do with all these medical assistance people if it's totally private? I don't know, you know. So anyway, those are my comments, and I'm in favor of retaining Pinecrest as a public entity.
Thank you. Anybody else? Please come to the podium, state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Don Dunphy. My address is 200 East Riverside Avenue in Merrill. And I'm here to speak in opposition to the county's application. Now, I think that there's been an assumption that the Pinecrest Nursing Home, whether publicly owned or privately owned, is going to be an equivalent use. I take issue with that. I don't think they are equivalent. Here's the reason why, and this is something the county board has not discussed or considered. Pinecrest, as it's presently configured, is a government entity. It has a roster of employees of 140 personnel. It has a payroll of $4.5 million per year. And I would submit that that amount of money circulating in the city, and most of the employees are from the community, is very important to the city's economy. I would argue that having this property switched to private is contrary to the city's comprehensive plan, in that the buyer is going to be a for-profit nursing home. And profit is the key word. And the reason I say that is I'm not opposed to businesses earning a profit, but I am opposed to certain techniques engaged in by private nursing homes. And that would be that in order to maximize profit, what they normally do is cut positions. It's the biggest cost they have, and it's really where they go to when they're having problems raising money or making a profit. So based on that, I'm asking that the commission deny the county's application for rezoning. Thank you.
Anyone else to speak for or against?
Steve, before we go any further, can I make a couple comments?
Yes.
Your introductory statement that you gave, we were not going to talk about business models. We're talking about the zoning only at this meeting. Let's keep the emotions and the politics out. To address the taxable as far as private corporation, yes, they would be taxed. And the East End garden area is not in the portion that would be rezoned. If you look at your packet on, I think it's like page 5 or 6, it's outlined in red. The garden area is to the east of what we're talking about, just to correct a few things. And again, we're not looking at dictating what another government entity does with their business model or their facilities. We're just talking about zoning here tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak for or against?
Good evening. For those that don't know me, I'm Renee Krieger, the Administrative Coordinator for Lincoln County. I'm the applicant that you have before you as part of your packet. And just for the record, to be able to request on behalf of Lincoln County that, yes, we are requesting to rezone the parcel from public to thoroughfare commercial. The intent is it will remain a skilled nursing facility. It will have same usage. Office buildings would be same usage as well. The rezoning is contingent upon the closing of the property, not prior. So if it does not sell, then it would not change as previously stated. And it's a pretty simple request. It cannot operate outside of a government entity without rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak for or against? Last call to speak for or against. With that, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to close the hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now closed. What would the plan commissions like to do?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
First question is, as we all know, Pinecrest was up for sale and was sold at a previous point in this discussion. At that time, I did sit on the on the planning commission, and at no time did a request for a rezone ever come before us? That's why? And was that a glitch on the part of the county not realizing that they had to have a rezone? The other question I have is, I noticed that the application for the rezoning of this property came into the office on 5/12 of this month, or last month, I'm sorry. And the county did not formally approve as a whole the rezoning request until the 22nd of this month. There's a discrepancy of 10 days there. I'd like to know why there's a discrepancy of that nature.
What happened when they tried to sell it before is really irrelevant to this committee. Moving forward, they are doing it the right way, so that's what we're considering tonight. It's not something that happened in the past. And as far as the 12th to the 22nd, it's just a matter of when it was put in the paper. It's not like it was hidden from anybody, public record or otherwise.
I actually did the publication, I actually did the notice and publication the same day that I received it, so there was no lag on the city's end for
And
putting that in.
I realize that. The question is why did it get the board's full approval 10 days after the application was submitted?
Yeah, and that's a county function. When I receive an application, I act on it.
At this time, does the committee like to make a recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, you have one more question.
Okay.
We have 3 different options here tonight, correct? We can approve, we can deny. Do we have a third option of sending this forward to the council with no recommendation?
I would, yeah,
Yes, you do.
yeah, we can, if that's what the committee wants to do.
If that's an option, I will make a motion that we move this forward to the council with no recommendation from this committee.
Hearing lack of a second, that motion dies.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the rezoning.
I have a motion to approve the rezoning.
I'll second that.
And a second to approve the rezoning. Any discussion? Yes.
If we approve this motion, am I understanding this right, that it's up to the county, if they sell it, the zoning changes? If they do not sell it, it stays as is?
Correct.
Correct.
That's correct.
That's part of this motion then?
Yep.
Yep.
That's actually just part of the zoning code.
Yeah.
Because they are, if it's retained by a public entity as the county, then it is zoned public under our definition in the
If-
zoning code.
If there's no transfer, nothing changes.
It doesn't have to be included as part of the motion, is what I'm saying.
It was mentioned about this new owner paying taxes. Is that reality or is that just off the cuff?
That is reality unless there's a payment in lieu of taxes worked out, which there has not been. And my understanding, they are a for-profit business where they will be taxed.
Any further discussion?
I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Clerk, will you please call the roll? Oh, sorry, you want this?
Okay. Ms. Rakowski?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Schrader?
No.
Ms. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Mr. Fanouken?
Yes.
Mayor Haas?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you. Public comment period. Public comment. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.